Linda Thorne, the children's minister at Birmingham First United Methodist Church. In today's Bible story, Esther was a beautiful queen who discovers one purpose at the most important time. Esther learned that even when we have a case of the how can I's, God can transform us into a person God needs us to be. Similarly, the Luna moth begins life as a lowly caterpillar and then transforms into a beautiful moth. As this happens, they have one important job to do. They become parents and make the eggs for the future generations of the Luna moth. And they only have 1 week to do all this. The stories of Esther and the Luna moth remind us that God can change all of us into leaders, even in the most difficult times. God transforms. The Luna moth is a beautiful part of nature God has given us. How can we be gentler with our planet so creatures like the Luna moth are safe and protected? I would like to introduce you to a friend of mine that will share one way we can protect our planet through recycling plastics. And her name is Avery Rhodes.
Hey kids, my name is Avery Rhodes, and I work at a place called Community on the Rise in Birmingham, Alabama. At Community on the Rise, we think it is so important to take care of God's beautiful kingdom and creatures and God's beautiful people. I'd like to share with you a few ways that we do this work. At Community on the Rise, we prioritize taking care of Mother Earth, and we do this through a process called recycling. Now, you probably already know what recycling is. It's the process of transforming something old and used into something brand new and reusable. At Community on the Rise, we work to recycle plastics materials. Think about the ways that you use plastic in your life. Let me give you a few examples. You might go into the store and get some water in a plastic bottle. Your parents might wash your clothes using a laundry detergent container made of plastic. It's summertime and you might really want a cold glass of lemonade from a plastic jug. I'll bet you brush your teeth using toothpaste in a plastic tube and wash your hair using shampoo in a plastic bottle. So everywhere we look, there is plastic all around us. And if we're not careful, that plastic that we've used can end up in our garbage and then eventually in lakes, streams, oceans, and forests. Places where creatures like the beautiful Luna moth make their habitat. At Community on the Rise, we want to make sure to take care of these ecosystems and habitats, and we'd really like your help. I hope that you'll be willing to help us by doing a few things today. First, think about the many, many ways that you use plastic in your life and talk about it with your family and friends, and see if you can come up with methods to use less plastic. I'll give you one example. Instead of using a single-use plastic water bottle to drink your water, consider using a refillable water container instead. I'll bet if you talk with your family and friends, you can come up with other ideas as well. Now, the second thing I'd like to ask you to do is to collect the plastic that you have used. To do this, all you have to do is rinse it out and drop it off at your church. You can ask your community and neighbors and friends to join you too. And then Community on the Rise can take those plastics and we can recycle them. Now, there's one other thing I'd like to tell you that's really special about Community on the Rise, and that is how we like to take care of God's beautiful people. We recognize that there are some people who are our neighbors and friends who are very vulnerable right now, and they may not be able to have a roof over their head or a warm bed to sleep in. This community of people is experiencing homelessness, and so at Community on the Rise, we seek to hire people specifically from the homeless community to recycle our plastics using our big magic machines. Here's how it works. Our workers will take the plastic that you have collected and throw it into our big magic machines and recycle it into something brand new. So imagine for a second if we were able to take your plastic water bottle and change it into a lovely flower pot that you can grow something in. Or imagine that we took that laundry container and threw it into our big plastic magic machines and turned it into a lovely Christmas ornament that you could hang on your tree during the holiday season. So it's pretty amazing what we can do when we combine our love for God's kingdom and creatures with our love of God's people. We want to do a lot of good work at Community on the Rise, and we think that we are solving problems by the work we do, and we hope that you'll join us. I hope that you'll collect plastics for us this summer and drop them off at your church. And I'm so thankful that you took the time to hear Community on the Rise's story, and I hope to work with you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Hi friends, it's Miss Linda again, and I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Molly Erickson, and she also works at Community on the Rise, and she has some great ideas of what to do with your plastics.
Hey friends, I'm Molly, and you might have noticed since you've been staying home a lot lately that we use a lot of plastic in our house, right? So this is a container of milk. So if you eat cereal in the morning or you add milk to things, you probably have a container like this. It might be a different size, but it's made out of plastic. And on the bottom of every plastic container is a number 1 through 7. And it's in a triangle of arrows. So you have to find that triangle of arrows, and inside of it there's a number. On the bottom of this one is a number 1. So I bet you guys can spend some time while you're at home investigating what you have in your kitchen and in your bathroom and just what we use on a daily basis. So you can be the investigators looking for numbers 1 through 7. So some of you also might like Chick-fil-A, and since we've been staying home a lot, sometimes a little special treat from Chick-fil-A is really nice. Well, Chick-fil-A has a number on the bottom of their cups too. So you find the arrow, and there's a number 1 in that too. If you have a curbside pickup at your house, number 1s and number 2s can usually go in that curbside, but other numbers cannot. So on the top of the Chick-fil-A cup, there's also a number 1, but there's no number on the straw, which means you can't recycle it. So it's also okay to say no to the straw. Some restaurants say skip the straw, which you can do too. If you don't skip the straw, you can bring that to us at Community on the Rise, where we are looking for new and innovative ways to use all the plastic that we have. Here's another example. Some of you might have been helping in the garden a little bit now that we've been home and the weather's been so nice. Well, these garden pots are usually a number 5 plastic. So you have to look on the bottom, you find the triangle. One option is you can take this back to the gardening center where you bought it. Usually Lowe's will take them back and they reuse them. But if you don't do that, you can bring them to us at Community on the Rise, and we will shred it into little shreds and then remelt it into an item that's used over and over. So this is only used one time, so we call this a single use. When you get salsa at a restaurant, single use. And we want to find ways to reduce single-use plastic and make things out of it that we use over and over and over again. So that's what we're trying to do at Community on the Rise. And you can help us by being investigators in your house, finding plastic and figuring out what number it is and where it should go. And at Community on the Rise, we will shred it, remelt it into new things that can be used over and over and over again until we all stop using so much plastic.
So you just need to go to your refrigerator with an adult and check out what you have in your refrigerator that can recycle. Eat the food first, then let's recycle. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I am here to thank you for helping out collecting plastics and helping us Luna moths. Don't forget, collect plastic containers that have a number 1, 2, or 5 in the little triangle on the plastics. That's the recycled triangle. You rinse them out and you just simply take them to your local church. If you do not live in Birmingham, Alabama, then just contact your church or children's minister and ask them who you could be helping by collecting plastics. So let's fly off and start collecting our plastics. Wait a minute, are you still here? Fly, fly!